You've tried the diet, you've cut the calories, you're moving more than you ever have, and the belly weight is still there. What if the reason nothing is working isn't your effort at all? There's one hormone most people never look at that may be making your body hold onto that weight no matter what you do. Once you know what it is, you stop spinning your wheels on the things that can't work and you start doing what actually can. And honestly, it's a lot simpler than what you've probably been trying. Hi, I'm Stacy. I'm a mom of 6, natural wellness educator for over 16 years. I take the biology, translate it so that it actually makes sense, and then we figure out what to do with it. So let's get into it. Let's talk what's actually happening here. And before I do, I want to plant a seed right now about something I am going to share in just a few minutes. It's called the pregnenolone still. I know it sounds like a magic trick, but it's the piece that explains why so many women are doing everything right and still hitting a wall. We're going to get there, but first, here's something that no one mentions when they hand you a meal plan or a workout. Most of the research behind the advice was done on men. Definitely not women over 40 whose hormones are doing something completely different than they were just a decade ago. So when you follow the standard playbook and your body doesn't respond the way it's supposed to, that's not you being broken. That's you using a tool that was literally not designed for your situation. And once you understand that, a lot of things start to make a lot more sense. Okay. Cortisol. Cortisol is your stress hormone. It's made in your adrenal glands, which are those tiny little walnut-sized glands that sit right on top of your kidneys. And cortisol is actually genuinely useful when it's doing its job correctly. Think of it like a fire alarm. When there's real smoke, you want that alarm going off. Cortisol raises your blood sugar fast to fuel your muscles, sharpen your focus, get your whole body ready to deal with whatever the threat is. And then the threat passes, the alarm shuts off, and everything comes back to normal. The problem is your adrenal glands don't know the difference between a real emergency and just your life. A packed schedule reads the same as a car accident. Not enough sleep reads the same as running from a predator. A hard season at home reads the same as an actual threat. Your body doesn't get the memo that it's just Tuesday. So instead of cortisol doing its job and coming back down, it stays elevated all day. And a body that's running chronically elevated on cortisol starts making some very specific decisions. Decisions you're probably already feeling. I want to share something from my own experience here because I think you might see yourself in it. I've been a runner for a long time. It's been my thing. And for years, I was doing what I'd always done. Intervals, hills, sprints, long runs, the kind of training that used to make me feel strong and lean and like I was genuinely doing something good for myself. But at some point it stopped working that way. I was still running, still putting in the effort, but instead of feeling energized, I was exhausted. And the weight, especially right here in the middle, wasn't moving. If anything, it felt like I was going in the wrong direction. I was running more and gaining weight and I could not figure out what was happening. And I kept thinking, I'm doing the work, why isn't this working? And what I didn't know then is that the training I was depending on was actually spiking my cortisol. Not because running is bad, but because my hormones had shifted and my body's ability to recover from that kind of hard effort had changed with them. What used to be the right dose had become too much. And my body was doing exactly what a stressed, cortisol elevated body does. It was holding onto fat. And here's the part that matters for you. This shift, where the thing that used to work suddenly stops, is specific to women in their hormonal season, in this hormonal season. Men don't go through this same way. A 45-year-old man doing sprint intervals is largely working with the same hormonal setup he had when he was 30. His body doesn't make the same switch yours does, but you're in a different chapter now, and the inputs your body needs to thrive have changed too. So if you've been working hard and wondering why it feels like your body is working against you, it may be because it is. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because what worked before may not be what your body needs right now. So here's what elevated cortisol is specifically doing to your weight. It drives fat storage, not just anywhere. Cortisol signals your body to store fat in one specific location, right here in the middle, wrapped around your organs. This is called visceral fat. And the reason it goes there is actually kind of logical from a survival standpoint. Your body is essentially saying things seem dangerous out there, so let's keep the emergency fuel supply close to the vital equipment. Here's the part most people don't know. Visceral fat has more cortisol receptors than fat anywhere else in your body. So the more cortisol you're producing, the more your body is being signaled specifically to store fat right here. It's a loop. More cortisol, more belly fat signal, more receptors to amplify it. This is why cutting calories doesn't fix it. Calorie restriction is itself a stress signal. When your body senses it's not getting enough fuel, your cortisol goes up to compensate. So you eat less, cortisol goes up, and your body holds on even tighter. Trying to diet your way out of a cortisol problem is like fixing a smoke alarm by removing the battery. The noise stops, the fire doesn't. And this goes for intermittent fasting too. You tried it in and it worked for a while, but then something shifted. There's a reason for that. Going extended windows without food can register as a stress signal in a cortisol elevated body. Something that used to help can quietly start working against you when your hormones are in a different place. And hard cardio, especially the chronic kind, raises cortisol too, which means for some women, more intense exercise is actually making the problem worse, not better. And nobody told them that. You haven't been failing at the right strategy. You've been succeeding at the wrong one. And that is a completely different problem with a completely different solution. And this is where that thing that I mentioned at the top comes in. Because what I'm about to explain is the piece that connects all of it. It's why effort alone isn't enough when this is what's going on underneath. So let's go. Okay, this is the one that I told you to stay for. I'm going to explain something that most wellness content never covers. And once you get it, a lot of things you've been confused about are going to click. Here's how your body makes hormones. It starts with cholesterol, which gets converted into something called pregnenolone. Think of pregnenolone like a big batch of hormone dough. Your body uses that dough to make everything it needs, including two hormones that matter a lot for this conversation: cortisol and progesterone. Now, progesterone is your calming hormone, your sleep hormone. It tells your brain it's okay to settle down. It counterbalances estrogen. It supports your metabolism. It does a lot of quiet, important work that most people never give it credit for. And here's the thing, both cortisol and progesterone are being made from the same batch of dough. Stay high, your body has to decide where to use the dough first. And it always prioritizes survival. Cortisol wins every single time, and progesterone doesn't get made the way it should. This is called the pregnenolone still. Your stress response is literally using up the raw material your body would have used to make a hormone that you really need. Now, here's why this hits women so differently than men. Men don't depend on progesterone the way that women do. This specific still doesn't affect them the same way. So all that advice about managing stress and just relaxing more, it was written without the piece of female biology in mind. For you, managing cortisol isn't just a nice idea. It's directly connected to whether your body makes the hormone that helps you sleep, feel calm, and actually let go of weight. When progesterone drops because cortisol is stealing the raw material, here's what that looks like. The belly fat that won't move no matter what. Anxiety that feels like it just came out of nowhere. Waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. with a brain that won't shut off. That wired and exhausted feeling where you're too tired to function but too activated to rest. Sound familiar? You may have had your labs done, you may have even had progesterone tested. But if nobody asked why the progesterone was low, if nobody looked upstream at the cortisol demand driving this still, the root cause never got addressed. The lab showed the result, it didn't show the reason. Your body isn't broken. It's just made a decision to prioritize your survival over your hormone balance. That's what it was designed to do. But now that you know where to actually focus. Here's how I think about it. Your body has one pot of raw material to make hormones from. When cortisol needs are high, It dips into that pot first. Progesterone is what doesn't get made when the pot keeps getting used up for stress. And it's not a coincidence that the most demanding season of most women's lives is also the season when their progesterone tanks and the belly weight shows up and just won't leave. That's the missing piece. The reason the weight may not be moving has nothing to do with how hard you're trying. It has to do with what your body is doing with its resources. And now that you understand that, everything that I'm about to share is going to land a little differently. Okay, quick pause, because if you're sitting there right now thinking, I actually know some of this already, but I can't seem to do it consistently, I want you to hear this. That's not a you problem. That's the exact gap the workshop is built to close. It's called The Girlfriend's Guide to Your Body After 35, and it's free. But here's what makes it different from every other thing you've probably already come across. It's not just information about what to do. It's the full implementation playbook for how to actually do it in the season you're in with the life you actually have right now that's sustainable. Not the version designed for someone with unlimited time and energy. The version that works when you're tired and stretched thin and have already tried a lot of things. It's the conversation I genuinely wish someone had sat me down and walked me through years earlier, and it's yours. The link's in the description. Okay, so let's talk about what to actually do with this. And I want to say one thing before we go in. I'm not going to give you a harder plan. You're probably already doing a lot. What I'm going to give you is a different plan, because when cortisol is the driver, the things that actually move the needle aren't the things most of us have been focused on. And most of them are simpler than what you've been trying. The first lever and the fastest one is your blood sugar. Every time your blood sugar spikes, your body releases insulin to bring it back down. And that insulin response sends a cortisol signal. So every sugar crash, every skipped meal, every 3 p.m. energy drop is adding to your cortisol load. Most women have no idea their blood sugar patterns are part of this picture at all. You don't need a perfect diet to address it. You just need to smooth out the roller coaster. So 3 simple places to start, and you don't have to do all 3 at once. Just pick one. So first, eat protein within an hour of waking. Not a big meal, just protein. There's a natural cortisol spike that happens the first 30 to 45 minutes after you wake up. In a healthy system, it's brief and manageable. In a stress system, it runs higher and longer than it should. So protein at breakfast blunts that spike and sets your blood sugar up for a steadier day. Second, don't skip meals. A lot of women are eating too little in the first half of the day and then wondering why their cravings are out of control by mid-afternoon. An empty fuel tank is a stress signal. Your body reads it as a threat and cortisol goes up to compensate. So eating consistently is actually one of the most cortisol lowering things that you can do. Third, reduce sugar and refined carbs, especially early in the day. Not eliminate, just reduce. When the blood sugar roller coaster slows down, the cortisol trigger that goes with it slows down too. I have to mention sleep here, even though I'm going deep on this in the next video. The short version, cortisol and sleep have a two-way relationship. Cortisol disrupts sleep, and poor sleep raises cortisol. They keep feeding each other. If you're waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. and you can't go back to sleep, that's very likely a cortisol spike happening at the wrong time. Your alarm is going off in the middle of the night when it should be quiet. The next video is entirely about sleep and what actually helps, including what changed things for me personally after years of that exact pattern. It's a big one. I don't want to rush through it here. Nervous system regulation. I know that sounds like something your therapist would say. Let me translate. Your nervous system has 2 settings: fight or flight, which is your stress response, and rest and digest, which is your recovery mode. When cortisol stays elevated for too long, your body gets stuck in fight or flight mode. It can't fully come down even when you're sitting still, even when nothing is actually wrong. You might know this feeling. You're exhausted, but you can't relax. You lie down and your brain won't stop. Nervous system regulation just means giving your body the signal that it's safe to calm down. That's the whole thing. And here's why it matters specifically for belly fat. Your body will not release stored fat when it thinks it's in the middle of a survival situation. The stuck weight is not a metabolism problem. It's a safety signal problem. Your body is holding on because it doesn't believe the emergency is over yet. Now, doctors will sometimes prescribe anti-anxiety medications for the anxiety and sleep symptoms that come with this. And those work on that exact same nervous system pathway. So this isn't soft wellness talk. This is real biology. But there are tools that work on the same system and cost nothing. The fastest one I know is slow breathing with a long exhale or a longer exhale than inhale. So try 4 counts in and 6 counts out. This directly activates your vagus nerve, which is the main pathway to your rest and digest mode. Within 2 minutes, your body starts getting that signal that the emergency is over. 2 minutes, free, and it actually works. Getting outside for even 10 minutes lowers cortisol measurably, not for exercise, just outside. Natural light, fresh air, something that isn't a screen, and real human connection. Not scrolling social media, actual people. A real conversation with someone you trust, a hug, time with people who make you feel safe. Oxytocin, your bonding hormone, directly counteracts cortisol. This is one of the reasons isolation makes everything in this season so much harder. And it's why being in a community of women who actually get what you're going through isn't just emotionally helpful. It's biologically supportive. And one more, there are specific essential oils that work through your sense of smell and create a really fast response in the part of your brain that regulates stress. Smell is one of the fastest pathways to your nervous system that exists. It goes directly to your limbic system, which is in your brain's stress regulation center, and it bypasses a lot of the slower routes. I will link up what I personally use in the description below. And if you want to actually see whether your nervous system is recovering overnight or staying stuck in stress mode, I track mine with an Oura ring. It measures your heart rate variability while you sleep, which is one of the clearest windows into whether your body is truly coming down from stress or staying activated. I'll link it below and go deeper on it in the sleep video. Last one, movement. The goal right now isn't more movement, it's the right kind. Walking is one of the most cortisol lowering things that you can do, not as a workout, as a daily signal to your nervous system that you're safe and the threat has passed. A 30-minute walk does something for a stressed cortisol elevated body that a hard workout can't do. Lower intensity strength training with actual recovery time built in supports your muscle mass and your metabolism without the cortisol cost of chronic intense cardio. And this brings us back to what I said at the beginning. Most workout programs were built on research for people whose hormones don't do what yours are doing right now. So if you've been following something designed for peak hormonal capacity and your body isn't responding, that's not a failure. That's just kind of a mismatch. We go into the specific movement match that's research-backed for women in this season in the workshop. It's one of the 5 foundational pillars we cover, and it gets its own full breakdown. So here's what I want you to take away from this. If you've been working harder and the belly weight still isn't moving, it may not be a willpower problem or a calorie problem. It may be a cortisol problem. And the reason that matters is because once you know that, what you focus on completely changes. You stop doing more of what isn't working and you start doing what your body can actually respond to. In the next video, I'm going deep on sleep because cortisol doesn't just affect your weight. It's one of the biggest drivers of the sleep problems most women in this season are dealing with. And once you understand the connection, you're going to know exactly what to do about it. I will see you there. And if this video explains something you've been wondering about for a while, share it. There's probably someone in your life who needs to hear exactly this.